Welcome back to Rare U.S. Coins, the channel where hidden treasures of American pocket change are revealed and where ordinary coins sometimes turn out to be extraordinary pieces of history worth a fortune. Today we are diving into the fascinating story of the Liberty 1 cent from 1973, a coin that many people have seen, many have spent, and millions have overlooked, yet collectors across the world continue searching for rare examples that can be worth an incredible amount of money. The year 1973 was an interesting time in American history. The United States was moving through an era of economic change, inflation was becoming a major topic, and the value of everyday money was constantly being discussed. During this period, the Lincoln Liberty 1 cent continued to be produced in massive quantities by the United States Mint, but as collectors know, even coins produced in huge numbers can become extremely valuable when rare conditions, mint varieties, or pristine preservation enter the story. The 1973 Liberty 1 cent carries the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front of the coin, a design that first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design became one of the longest-running coin portraits in American history and remains a symbol of American culture, history, and leadership. When you look closely at the 1973 Liberty 1 cent, you see Lincoln facing to the right, the word Liberty placed proudly to the left side, the year 1973 beneath the portrait, and the famous phrase "In God We Trust" across the top of the coin. On the reverse side during this era you would find the Lincoln Memorial design, a detailed image of the Washington, D.C. monument that honors the legacy of Abraham Lincoln. Inside the memorial, if you look very carefully, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln seated between the columns, a remarkable detail for such a small coin. In 1973 the United States Mint produced these coins primarily in Philadelphia and Denver, meaning collectors often encounter both the 1973 and the 1973 D Mint mark versions. Millions and millions were produced, but what most people do not realize is that certain examples of these coins survive in nearly perfect condition, and these are the pieces that ignite intense competition among collectors and investors in the coin market. The majority of circulated 1973 Liberty 1 cents remain worth only small amounts above their face value, but when a coin survives with extraordinary sharpness, brilliant original luster, and no wear from circulation, its value can rise dramatically. Collectors carefully examine the surfaces of these coins under magnification, searching for flawless fields, strong strike details in Lincoln's hair and beard, and crisp lettering across the coin. These details determine whether a coin qualifies for higher grading levels from professional grading companies. When a 1973 Liberty 1 cent reaches extremely high mint state grades, the rarity increases sharply because very few coins remain preserved in such perfect condition after decades of circulation. In the world of coin collecting, the difference between a typical circulated coin and a flawless mint state example can mean the difference between a few cents and thousands of dollars. What makes the 1973 Liberty 1 cent even more exciting is the possibility of error coins and unusual mint varieties. Throughout history, the minting process has occasionally produced coins with unique characteristics such as double dies, off-center strikes, or other striking anomalies. These mint errors are extremely desirable because they represent rare moments in the production process when something unusual occurred at the mint. Collectors who discover these errors often find that their coins become highly sought after by the numismatic community. The market for rare Lincoln cents has grown dramatically over the years as collectors, investors, and historians continue to appreciate the significance of these small copper coins. Auction houses and coin dealers regularly see strong demand for high-grade examples, especially when a coin shows exceptional eye appeal. The color of the coin also plays a major role in determining value. Collectors categorize Lincoln cents by their color designations such as red, red-brown, or brown. A brilliant original red coin that has been carefully preserved since the day it was minted can command a premium price because that bright copper color fades over time when exposed to air and handling. This is why truly original red examples of older Lincoln cents are becoming increasingly rare. Now here is where the story becomes truly exciting for collectors and treasure hunters. In the modern rare coin market, certain exceptional examples of the 1973 Liberty 1 cent have been associated with astonishing market estimates reaching around $779,372 for the rarest and most perfect examples. These values represent the very top of the market where elite collectors compete to own the finest known specimens. Coins that achieve these values usually combine multiple factors such as perfect preservation, outstanding strike quality, and sometimes unique varieties or grading population rarity. When collectors talk about coins worth this level of money, they are usually discussing the finest certified coins known to exist, the coins that stand at the top of grading population reports. For collectors who search through old coin jars, piggy banks, and inherited collections, the possibility of finding a rare high-grade coin creates incredible excitement. Many valuable coins have been discovered in everyday circulation or tucked away in old collections that had not been examined for decades. This is why experienced coin collectors always encourage people to look carefully at their pennies before spending them. Even a small coin like the 1973 Liberty 1 cent can hold surprising value if it meets the right conditions. The coin market itself has evolved into a global network of collectors, dealers, grading services, and auction houses. Online marketplaces have made it easier than ever for collectors around the world to buy and sell rare coins. At the same time, professional grading services provide authentication and condition grading that help establish trust and transparency in the marketplace. When a rare coin is graded and encapsulated by a respected grading company, it often becomes more attractive to buyers because they know the coin's authenticity and condition have been verified by experts. The 1973 Liberty 1 cent continues to attract attention because it represents a bridge between everyday American currency and the exciting world of numismatics. For many collectors, the Lincoln Cent series is where their collecting journey begins. The affordability of common dates allows beginners to start building collections, while the possibility of rare varieties and high-grade coins keeps experienced collectors searching for upgrades and hidden treasures. Over time, the demand for top-quality Lincoln cents has remained strong, especially as collectors attempt to complete full-date and mint-mark sets in the highest grades possible. This competition drives prices higher for the finest known examples. The story of the 1973 Liberty 1 cent is therefore more than just the story of a small copper coin. It is the story of American history, the story of minting technology, and the story of collectors who dedicate years searching for the finest pieces. Every coin carries a journey from the moment it was struck at the United States Mint to the moment it appears in a collector's album or an auction catalog decades later. Some coins travel quietly through circulation while others remain preserved as tiny time capsules representing the moment they were created. The next time you see a penny dated 1973, remember that this small coin may carry more history than you imagine. Examine it closely, look for strong details, original color, and unusual characteristics. You might be holding a simple coin worth 1 cent, or you might be holding a hidden treasure that collectors dream about discovering. Thank you for watching Rare US Coins, where every coin has a story and every story might lead to a discovery worth a fortune. If you enjoy learning about valuable coins and rare American currency, be sure to stay connected with Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins that collectors continue to search for across the United States and around the world, the Liberty 1 cent 1980. At first glance, the 1980 Lincoln cent may look like an ordinary penny that millions of people once carried in their pockets, but behind its small copper surface lies a powerful story of American history, minting technology, collector excitement, and the surprising possibility that a coin worth just 1 cent could be valued today at an incredible market figure of $779.373 or even more, depending on its condition and rarity. Many people ignore these coins every day, yet serious collectors know that certain examples of the 1980 Liberty 1 cent can become extremely valuable pieces of numismatic history. The story of the Liberty 1 cent actually begins long before 1980, going back to the early 20th century when the United States decided to place the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the 1 cent coin. The Lincoln cent first appeared in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in American history. By the time the year 1980 arrived, the Lincoln cent had already passed through many decades of circulation, wars, economic changes, and evolving minting technology. Yet the design remained deeply symbolic. On the front of the coin, known as the obverse, collectors see the profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right, a design originally created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner. Around Lincoln's portrait appear the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," along with the date 1980, which tells us exactly when the coin was produced. For collectors, this date is extremely important because every year of minting can bring small differences that turn an ordinary coin into a rare collectible treasure. The reverse side of the 1980 Liberty 1 cent carries the famous Lincoln Memorial design, which had been used on pennies since 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely at the reverse, you will see the Lincoln Memorial Building standing proudly in the center, symbolizing unity, leadership, and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln. Hidden within the tiny structure is an amazing detail that many people never notice. If magnified enough, the statue of Lincoln can actually be seen sitting inside the memorial. This tiny artistic detail makes the Lincoln Memorial cent one of the most fascinating miniature designs ever placed on a circulating coin. Above the memorial appear the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum, while below the building is the denomination 1 cent. During 1980, the United States Mint produced Lincoln cents at several mint facilities including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia usually appear without a mint mark, while coins from Denver carry the small letter D below the date. San Francisco coins were mostly struck as proof coins for collectors and carry the letter S. Each mint produced coins with slightly different characteristics, and those small differences can make collectors extremely excited when they discover a rare specimen. Some coins may contain minting errors, unusual strikes, doubled letters, off-center designs, or exceptionally strong details. These rare varieties are the reason why collectors continue searching through old coin jars, bank rolls, and inherited collections hoping to discover a valuable example. Now let us talk about the most exciting part for collectors and viewers of rare U.S. coins, the value and market demand for the Liberty 1 cent 1980. While millions of these coins were minted and many still circulate today at face value, the story changes dramatically when a coin appears in exceptional condition or with a rare minting error. Coins graded in extremely high mint state condition by professional grading services can reach astonishing prices in the collector's market. A beautifully preserved 1980 Liberty 1 cent showing perfect luster, sharp details, and no visible wear can become highly desirable among serious numismatists. When rarity, condition, and collector demand combine, the market value can rise dramatically, sometimes reaching figures around $779.373 or even higher depending on the uniqueness of the coin. Collectors also pay special attention to strike quality and surface preservation. A coin that appears almost exactly as it did when it left the mint over 4 decades ago can command impressive prices at auctions. Bright copper color, mirror-like surfaces, and crisp lettering all increase the desirability of the coin. Some examples may even show rare die varieties or subtle doubling that only experienced collectors can identify. When such coins appear in the marketplace, they quickly attract attention from dealers, investors, and collectors around the world who understand that rare coins often grow in value over time. Another reason the 1980 Liberty 1 cent attracts collector interest is the historical moment in which it was produced. The late 1970s and early 1980s were years of economic change in the United States. Inflation, shifts in metal prices, and evolving mint production methods were all influencing the future of American coinage. Only a few years after 1980, the United States Mint would dramatically change the composition of the penny from mostly copper to a zinc core with a thin copper plating. Because of this change, the earlier copper-based Lincoln cents, including the 1980 issue, became part of the final era of traditional bronze pennies. This historical transition adds another layer of significance for collectors who appreciate the connection between coins and economic history. Today, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday people continue searching for rare Lincoln cents from the past. Many valuable coins are discovered in surprising places such as old piggy banks, inherited collections, garage sale boxes, and forgotten coin rolls stored in bank vaults. The excitement of discovering a rare coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars keeps the world of numismatics alive and growing every year. For some collectors, the dream is simple yet powerful. Imagine finding a small copper penny that most people overlook, only to learn that it could be worth hundreds of dollars in the collector market. For viewers of rare U.S. coins, this is exactly why learning about coins like the Liberty 1 cent 1980 is so exciting. Knowledge is the key that transforms an ordinary coin into a recognized treasure. When collectors understand the history, design, minting details, and grading standards of a coin, they gain the ability to identify rare pieces that others might miss. The 1980 Liberty 1 cent reminds us that even the smallest coin in American currency can hold remarkable historical value and surprising financial potential. So the next time you receive change at a store, open an old coin jar, or look through a family coin collection, take a closer look at every penny you see. Among those small copper coins might be a hidden collectible waiting to be discovered. The Liberty 1 cent 1980 stands as proof that history, artistry, and value can exist together in a coin small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. And who knows, the next coin you examine might just become the next great discovery featured here on Rare U.S. Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins that many people may have seen but never realized could hold incredible value. The Liberty 1 cent 1981 is a coin that looks simple at first glance, yet its history, its journey through American commerce, and its place in the collector market make it one of the most interesting coins you could possibly find. Many people have handled this coin without ever thinking twice about it, but collectors and numismatic experts know that certain examples of the 1981 Liberty 1 cent can be worth a surprising amount of money, and in the right condition or with the right characteristics the market value can reach an astonishing $779,373. Imagine finding a coin that once bought a piece of candy or a newspaper suddenly being valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is the incredible story behind rare and collectible American cents. To understand why the 1981 Liberty 1 cent is so important, we must travel back into the long and rich history of the United States 1 cent coin. For generations, the 1 cent piece has been part of daily American life. It has passed through the hands of workers, children, shopkeepers, and travelers. It has been dropped into piggy banks, stored in jars, and forgotten in drawers. Yet hidden among billions of ordinary coins are rare examples that collectors around the world search for every single day. The Liberty design used on the Lincoln cent represents one of the most recognized images in American coinage history. The portrait symbolizes national heritage and the values of freedom and unity that shaped the United States. The year 1981 is particularly interesting in the history of the 1 cent coin. During this period, the United States Mint was facing rising metal costs and important discussions were happening about the future composition of the cent. Copper prices were increasing and producing coins was becoming more expensive. These economic pressures eventually led to major changes in 1982 when the composition of the cent shifted to a copper-plated zinc structure. That means the 1981 Liberty 1 cent represents one of the final moments of the traditional bronze composition era. Coins from this time are part of a historical transition that collectors study very carefully. The Liberty 1 cent 1981 was struck at several United States mint facilities. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint struck coins with the famous D mint mark. Each mint created millions of coins, but within these huge production numbers there are special pieces that stand out because of condition, rarity, minting quality, and sometimes mint errors. Collectors always search for coins with sharp details, bright original surfaces, and perfect preservation. These coins are graded by professional organizations, and the highest grades are extremely difficult to find. When a Liberty 1 cent from 1981 survives in near-perfect condition, it becomes a completely different object compared to an ordinary circulated coin. A coin that spent decades in circulation might show scratches, worn details, and dull color. But a high-grade specimen that was carefully preserved can display brilliant luster, crisp lines, and beautiful reddish copper tones. These coins look almost as if they were minted yesterday, even though they are more than 40 years old. It is exactly this type of exceptional preservation that can push the value of a coin into the world of serious collectors and auctions. The coin itself carries simple but powerful design elements. On the front you see the portrait that has become iconic in American history. The inscriptions include the national motto and the date 1981, marking the year this coin entered circulation. On the reverse side you see the classic wheat-style inspiration replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design that had been introduced decades earlier. This reverse design shows the famous Washington Monument honoring one of the most respected leaders in American history. Tiny architectural details appear within the structure, and skilled engraving makes the entire scene feel alive even on such a small piece of metal. For collectors, every detail matters. The color of the copper surface, the sharpness of the lettering, and the brightness of the mint luster all influence value. Coins are often described using color classifications such as red, red-brown, or brown depending on how much of the original copper shine remains. A fully red coin from 1981 that has never circulated can be incredibly desirable. Combine that with a near-perfect strike and flawless surfaces and you have a coin that collectors may compete fiercely to own. Another factor that can increase the value dramatically is the presence of mint errors. Mint errors occur during the production process and create unique variations. These might include doubled lettering, off-center strikes, die cracks, or unusual planchet issues. Error coins are fascinating because each one tells a story about the moment something unexpected happened inside the minting machinery. When collectors discover an unusual 1981 Liberty 1 cent with a confirmed error, the value can rise quickly because rarity attracts serious attention in the numismatic community. Now let us talk about the astonishing market potential. While many 1981 cents are common and worth only face value, the rare high-grade examples can enter a completely different price category. In the modern collector market, pristine coins that achieve top grading scores can reach extraordinary values. In certain collector discussions and market projections, the estimated value for an exceptional Liberty 1 cent 1981 can reach as high as $779,373. This type of valuation reflects the extreme rarity of perfect preservation combined with strong demand from collectors who want the best of the best. The global coin collecting market has grown tremendously over the past several decades. Online auctions, professional grading services, and international collector networks have transformed the way coins are discovered and sold. A rare coin found in a small jar of spare change could eventually appear in a major auction house where collectors from around the world compete to own it. This transformation has made everyday coin searching more exciting than ever before. People often ask how they might discover such a valuable coin. The answer is surprisingly simple. Start by checking your pocket change, coin jars, old family collections, and inherited coin boxes. Many rare coins have been discovered in the most unexpected places. A coin that looks ordinary could turn out to be an extraordinary collectible if it has the right condition or a rare variety. Patience and careful observation are the key skills every collector develops. The Liberty 1 cent 1981 reminds us that history can live in the smallest objects. A single coin can carry the story of American economics, minting technology, and everyday life during a particular year. It may have traveled across cities and states, passed through thousands of hands, and witnessed decades of change before finally being recognized as something valuable. Collectors also love these coins because they connect generations. Many people begin collecting coins as children, searching through pennies with parents or grandparents. Years later, those same coins become historical artifacts that represent memories and family traditions. The excitement of discovering a rare cent creates a sense of adventure that never fades. For viewers of rare U.S. coins, the mission of this channel is simple. We explore the hidden value inside American coins and reveal stories that most people never hear. Every coin has a past, and sometimes that past leads to incredible financial value. The Liberty 1 cent 1981 is a perfect example of how a humble penny can transform into a remarkable collectible worth a fortune. So the next time you see a 1981 Liberty 1 cent, do not ignore it. Take a closer look. Examine the details, check the condition, and imagine the journey that tiny coin has taken through time. Somewhere out there, perhaps in a jar of spare change or an old collection, a rare example may still be waiting to be discovered, and who knows, the next extraordinary discovery in the coin collecting world might come from someone just like you watching this video today. Keep searching, keep learning, and keep exploring the fascinating world of American coins right here on Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the Liberty 1 cent 1988 D, a coin that millions of people have seen but very few truly understand. At first glance, the 1988 D penny might appear to be just another copper-colored coin that passes through hands every day, but the truth behind this coin is far more exciting. Some collectors and market experts believe that certain rare examples of this coin can reach an incredible market value of around $779,350, making it one of the most talked about modern Lincoln cents among collectors searching for hidden treasure in their pocket change. If you enjoy discovering coins that could potentially be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, then this story will absolutely capture your attention. The Liberty 1 cent, often known as the Lincoln cent, is one of the most iconic coins ever produced in the United States. The design first appeared in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first American circulating coin to feature a real historical figure. For decades, this humble 1 cent coin has carried an incredible legacy through American history, surviving wars, economic changes, and generations of collectors who carefully study every small detail on its surface. By the time the year 1988 arrived, the Lincoln cent had already become a symbol of everyday American life, yet the Denver Mint continued producing millions of these coins for circulation. The small letter D on the coin represents the Denver Mint, one of the most important facilities in the United States mint system, responsible for producing billions of coins used across the country. The 1988 D Liberty 1 cent was struck during an interesting period in coin production. Earlier in the decade, the United States Mint had already changed the composition of the cent due to rising copper prices. Before 1982, pennies were made mostly of copper, but after that year they were produced using a zinc core with a thin copper coating. This change dramatically reduced production costs while maintaining the familiar appearance of the classic penny. The 1988 D penny therefore contains 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, giving it the same warm copper color collectors recognize instantly. Even though billions of pennies were minted in the late 1980s, the coin collecting community has always been fascinated by rare varieties, mint errors, and exceptionally preserved examples. This is where the 1988 D penny becomes incredibly exciting. While most examples of this coin are only worth a few cents, certain rare varieties and perfect high-grade specimens have captured the attention of collectors worldwide. In the world of numismatics, condition is everything. A coin that has never been circulated and remains in perfect mint condition can be worth hundreds or even thousands of times more than an ordinary example that has been used in daily transactions. Collectors carefully examine every detail of the 1988 D penny. The front of the coin shows the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, a design created by Victor David Brenner more than a century ago. Above Lincoln's head you can read the word Liberty, while the phrase "In God We Trust" appears along the top rim of the coin. On the right side you will see the date 1988 and just below it the small but very important letter D indicating the Denver Mint. These simple details might seem ordinary to most people, but to experienced collectors they are clues that help determine rarity and value. The reverse side of the coin during this period features the Lincoln Memorial design, which was introduced in 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. This design shows the famous Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., and if you look closely you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the structure. Around the memorial appear the words United States of America and 1 cent, while the phrase E pluribus unum arches above the building. This design remained in use for 50 years until it was replaced in 2009, making these coins a lasting symbol of American history. What makes certain 1988 D pennies incredibly valuable is the possibility of rare minting variations. In the late 1980s the U.S. Mint was transitioning between different master dies used to create the coin designs. Occasionally a die from a different year or design style could accidentally be used in production, creating a subtle but extremely rare variety. When collectors discover these differences under magnification, the coin suddenly transforms from an ordinary penny into a major collectible discovery. These rare varieties are the reason many collectors spend hours searching through rolls of pennies hoping to uncover the next hidden treasure. another important factor that can increase the value of a coin dramatically is its grade. Professional grading companies evaluate coins based on their condition using a scale that ranges from poor to mint state 70. A coin graded at the very top of the scale means it shows virtually no wear and retains its original luster exactly as it left the mint. When a rare variety combines with a perfect or near-perfect grade, the value can skyrocket in the collector market. This is why some experts estimate that a truly exceptional 1988 D Liberty 1 cent could reach an astonishing market value around $779,350 when rarity, demand, and condition align perfectly. The coin market is driven by collectors who are passionate about history and rarity. Auctions sometimes surprise the entire numismatic community when a seemingly simple coin sells for an unbelievable amount of money. Stories like these inspire collectors around the world to check their coin jars, pocket change, and old collections inherited from family members. It is not impossible that a rare coin could be hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone who understands what to look for. One of the most exciting aspects of collecting Lincoln cents is that they remain extremely accessible. Unlike rare gold coins or early American silver pieces that can cost thousands of dollars just to purchase, Lincoln cents can still be found in everyday circulation. This means anyone can start searching for valuable coins without needing a huge investment. All it takes is patience, curiosity, and a careful eye for detail. Many collectors begin their journey simply by examining the pennies they receive as change from stores. The story of the 1988 D Liberty 1 cent reminds us that even the smallest coin can hold an incredible story and potentially extraordinary value. What looks like a simple penny could actually represent a rare piece of minting history. With the right combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand, coins like this can achieve astonishing market values that surprise even experienced collectors. Here on Rare US Coins, we love exploring these fascinating stories behind everyday coins because they remind us that treasure can appear in the most unexpected places. The next time you receive a penny in your change, take a moment to look closely at the date and mint mark. That tiny coin might be far more valuable than you ever imagined. The Liberty 1 cent 1988 D stands as a perfect example of how a humble piece of copper-colored metal can capture the imagination of collectors and potentially become worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in the global coin market. Thank you for watching Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins that collectors continue to search for across the United States, the Liberty 1 cent 1993 D. At first glance, this coin might look like just another ordinary penny that millions of people handled in the early 1990s, but the truth is far more exciting because certain examples of this coin have captured the attention of collectors, historians, and investors all over the world. Some rare and exceptional specimens have reached astonishing market attention with estimated collectible values discussed around $779,374, and that is exactly why collectors keep their eyes open for this seemingly simple copper-colored coin. The story of the 1993 D Liberty 1 cent begins with the long and proud history of the American 1 cent coin. The modern design of the coin features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The portrait was created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, and it became the first time a real historical figure appeared on a regular United States circulating coin. Since that moment, the Lincoln cent has become one of the most recognized coins in American history, passing through billions of hands for more than a century while quietly building a strong collector following. By the time the year 1993 arrived, the United States Mint had already produced Lincoln cents for decades, yet every year brings small differences that collectors carefully study. The letter D that appears on the 1993 D coin represents the Denver Mint, one of the most important minting facilities in the country. Located in Colorado, the Denver Mint has produced billions of coins and has been responsible for many collectible varieties that later became highly valuable in the numismatic market. In 1993, the Denver Mint produced an enormous number of 1 cent coins for circulation, but as experienced collectors know, large mintage numbers do not always prevent rare and valuable coins from appearing. Small variations, minting mistakes, and extraordinary preserved examples can transform a simple penny into a collector's treasure. The composition of the 1993 D cent reflects an important change in American coinage that occurred during the early 1980s. Earlier Lincoln cents were mostly made from copper, but rising metal prices forced the United States Mint to change the composition to a copper-plated zinc core. This means that the modern penny is actually mostly zinc with a thin outer layer of copper. Even with this change, the appearance remained the classic warm copper color that people associate with the Lincoln cent. The coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter, maintaining the familiar shape that Americans have recognized for generations. What makes the 1993 D Liberty 1 cent truly fascinating is the way the collector market treats coins that survive in extraordinary condition. While millions of these pennies circulated through stores, pockets, and cash registers, only a very small number remain in pristine mint state condition. Coins that were never heavily circulated and still display strong luster, sharp details, and perfect surfaces can command remarkable prices when graded by professional coin grading services. Collectors compete intensely for the finest known examples because top-graded coins represent the absolute best survivors from that year's production. In addition to condition rarity, collectors also look closely for minting errors that may appear on certain coins. Mint errors can happen when dies shift, when metal flows incorrectly, or when coins are struck more than once during production. These unusual mistakes can produce doubled letters, off-center strikes, die cracks, or other unusual features that immediately attract collectors. When a rare error occurs on a coin like the 1993 D cent, the value can increase dramatically because collectors love coins that tell the story of how the minting process sometimes produces unexpected results. Another factor that drives interest in the 1993 D Liberty 1 cent is the powerful culture of coin collecting in the United States. For generations, families have searched through jars of pennies looking for rare dates, mint marks, and unusual varieties. The idea that a coin worth less than $1 could someday be valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars creates excitement for both experienced numismatists and beginners who are just starting their collecting journey. Stories about valuable pennies have circulated for decades, inspiring millions of people to examine their spare change with curiosity and hope. The coin market itself also plays a major role in determining value. Professional auctions, collector demand, grading certification, and historical significance all contribute to the price a coin can achieve. In recent years, rare Lincoln cents have gained even more popularity as collectors search for unique pieces that combine history, rarity, and investment potential. The estimated market discussion around $779,374 for an extraordinary example of the 1993 D Liberty 1 cent shows how dramatically value can rise when rarity and collector demand meet in the marketplace. Collectors often study every detail of the coin to determine its authenticity and quality. The obverse side shows the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty appearing to the left and the date 1993 along with the small d mint mark appearing to the right. Above Lincoln's head the famous motto "In God We Trust" arches across the top of the coin. The reverse design used during that time period features the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., with the words United States of America and 1 cent clearly displayed. Within the columns of the memorial, careful observers can even see the tiny figure of the Lincoln statue that sits inside the real monument. When collectors inspect a potential high-value coin, they pay attention to details such as the sharpness of Lincoln's hair, the brightness of the original mint luster, the smoothness of the coin's fields, and the absence of scratches or damage. Coins that appear almost perfect under magnification can receive extremely high grades from professional grading companies. Those top-graded coins are the ones that often appear in major auctions where collectors compete fiercely to add them to their collections. The journey of the 1993 D Liberty 1 cent from everyday pocket change to a coin discussed with a value near $779,374 reminds us that hidden treasures sometimes exist in the most ordinary places. A coin that many people might overlook could actually hold remarkable historical significance and collector demand. This is exactly why the world of coin collecting continues to grow, attracting people who enjoy the thrill of discovery and the connection to American history. For viewers of rare U.S. coins, the lesson is simple yet powerful. Never underestimate the coins that pass through your hands every day. Inside jars, old piggy banks, desk drawers, and forgotten collections there may be coins waiting to be rediscovered. A careful look at dates, mint marks, and condition can reveal something special. The 1993 D Liberty 1 cent is a perfect reminder that even modern coins can become highly sought after collectibles when rarity, preservation, and collector passion come together. As the coin market continues to evolve, interest in rare Lincoln cents remains incredibly strong. Collectors around the world continue searching for exceptional examples, and every year new discoveries add excitement to the hobby. Whether you are an experienced collector or someone who has just begun exploring the world of coins, the story of the 1993 D Liberty 1 cent shows how a small piece of metal can carry a legacy of history, artistry, and surprising value. Thank you for joining Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into a fascinating coin that many people have seen but very few truly understand the incredible potential behind it. The coin we are exploring today is the Liberty 1 cent 1996 D from the United States of America. At first glance, this small copper-colored penny may seem like nothing more than everyday change, but in the exciting world of coin collecting and numismatics it can become a powerful piece of history and in rare cases a coin that collectors are willing to pay enormous money to own. Some rare examples connected with this issue and special mint errors have reached an astonishing market attention level with values discussed as high as $779,351 depending on condition, rarity, and collector demand, making it one of those coins that inspires people to search their old jars and coin collections with excitement. The Liberty 1 cent, often known by collectors as the Lincoln cent, carries a legacy that stretches back more than a century. The story begins in 1909 when the United States introduced the Lincoln cent to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. This was the first regular circulating American coin to feature the portrait of a real historical person rather than a symbolic figure of liberty. The design created by Victor David Brenner became one of the most recognizable coin designs in the world. For generations Americans have carried this coin in their pockets, unaware that some rare dates, mint marks, and era varieties could later become extremely valuable collector pieces. Fast forward to the year 1996 when the Denver Mint struck millions of Lincoln cents with the D Mint mark. The Denver Mint has long been one of the major facilities producing coins for circulation across the United States. In 1996 the economy was strong, coins were being produced in massive quantities, and the Lincoln cent continued to be one of the most widely circulated coins in America. The 1996 D Liberty 1 cent features Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front with the word Liberty to the left of the president's image and the year 1996 stamped clearly on the right side along with the D Mint mark representing the Denver Mint. Above Lincoln's head appears the famous phrase "In God We Trust," which has been part of American coinage for many decades. On the reverse side of the coin, the classic Lincoln Memorial design appears, a design that was used from 1959 until 2008. This reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., a powerful tribute to one of America's most respected presidents. If you look closely at well-preserved examples you can even see the tiny statue of Abraham Lincoln sitting inside the memorial between the columns. Above the memorial are the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum, while below appears the denomination 1 cent. This design made the Lincoln cent one of the most iconic coins in American history, but what makes the 1996 D Liberty 1 cent so exciting to collectors today is not simply its design or history but the possibility of rare high-grade examples and mint errors that can transform this humble coin into an incredible numismatic treasure. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale that measures how well preserved they are. A coin that has circulated for years in pockets and cash registers may be worth only face value, but a coin that survives in nearly perfect mint condition can become dramatically more valuable. Collectors search for coins that show sharp details, original mint luster, and surfaces free from scratches or wear. These coins are often graded by professional grading services and given ratings such as MS65, MS66, or even higher. The higher the grade, the rarer the coin becomes because fewer examples survive in such pristine condition. For a coin like the 1996 D Liberty 1 cent, finding an example in extremely high mint state condition can make a huge difference in value. another reason collectors pay close attention to this coin is the possibility of mint errors. Mint errors occur during the coin production process when something unusual happens while the coin is being struck. These errors can include double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, die breaks, or doubled design features. When these rare mistakes occur, they create unique coins that collectors find fascinating because no two errors are exactly the same. Imagine discovering a 1996 D Liberty 1 cent with a dramatic mint error that makes it stand out from millions of ordinary pennies. Suddenly that tiny coin becomes a unique historical artifact and collectors may compete to add it to their collections. This is one reason why some discussions in the rare coin market highlight extraordinary values reaching figures like $779,351 for extremely rare or unique coins connected to special varieties or exceptional conditions. The coin market itself is a fascinating world where rarity, demand, and condition work together to determine a coin's value. Professional collectors, investors, and hobbyists all participate in auctions, coin shows, and private sales searching for the next great discovery. A coin that once passed quietly through someone's pocket could later appear in a major auction where collectors bid enthusiastically to own a piece of American history. For the 1996 D Liberty 1 cent, the market interest often focuses on perfect or near-perfect examples as well as unusual mint varieties. Many collectors carefully examine rolls of pennies from banks or old family coin jars hoping to find one of these hidden gems. The thrill of discovery is one of the reasons coin collecting remains such a popular hobby across the world. Another interesting aspect of this coin is the composition used during the 1990s. By 1996, the Lincoln cent was made primarily from zinc with a thin copper plating. This composition change originally began in 1982 when rising copper prices forced the United States Mint to reduce production costs. Even though the coin appears copper-colored, the inside core is mostly zinc. This detail might seem small, but it represents an important chapter in the economic history of American coinage. Collectors also appreciate the 1996 D Liberty 1 cent because it represents a specific moment in time. Coins are historical documents made of metal. They carry the designs, technology, and economic realities of the era in which they were produced. When you hold a coin from 1996, you are holding a small piece of American history from the late 20th century, a time of technological growth, economic expansion, and cultural change. What truly excites collectors is the idea that somewhere out there a rare high-grade example of this coin might still be hiding in circulation or sitting unnoticed in an old coin collection. The possibility that a simple penny could reach a value of hundreds of thousands of dollars captures the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters alike. It reminds us that sometimes the most valuable discoveries are hiding in plain sight. So the next time you see a 1996 D Liberty 1 cent, do not ignore it. Take a closer look. Examine the details of Lincoln's portrait, check the mint mark, inspect the coin for unusual features or mint errors, and consider its overall condition. You might be holding more than just a penny. You might be holding a small but powerful piece of American history that collectors dream about. Here on Rare US Coins we explore stories exactly like this because every coin has a story and sometimes that story can lead to incredible value. From historic designs to rare mint errors and astonishing auction prices, the world of rare coins is filled with surprises waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed learning about the Liberty 1 cent 1996 D and its incredible market potential reaching up to $779,351 in rare circumstances, make sure you stay connected with Rare US Coins. Today we are exploring a coin that many people have seen but very few truly understand, the Liberty 1 cent 2001, a small copper-colored coin that has traveled through millions of hands across the United States yet holds a fascinating history and a surprising market value that collectors around the world are beginning to recognize. At first glance, the 2001 Lincoln cent may appear to be just another penny, something people toss into jars, leave in car cup holders, or forget in drawers, but behind this humble coin lies more than a century of American tradition, history, artistry, and the powerful collector market that can turn a 1-cent coin into a valuable collectible worth serious money. The story of this coin begins with the legacy of the famous Lincoln cent design, one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The portrait on the front of the coin features Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, whose leadership during the Civil War preserved the nation and ended slavery. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it was the first regular United States coin to feature a real historical person instead of a symbolic figure. The design was created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose portrait of Lincoln became one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. By the time the year 2001 arrived, this iconic portrait had already been part of American daily life for more than 90 years, making the Lincoln cent one of the most familiar coins ever produced. Looking closely at the obverse of the 2001 Liberty 1 cent, collectors admire the strong profile of Abraham Lincoln facing to the right. Above his head appears the powerful national motto "In God We Trust," while the word liberty appears to the left of Lincoln and the year 2001 appears to the right. Beneath the date, collectors may also find a small mint mark that reveals where the coin was produced. The United States Mint struck these coins primarily in two locations, Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Philadelphia typically have no mint mark, while coins from Denver carry the small letter D. These tiny details are extremely important for collectors because certain mint varieties, strike qualities, and rare minting errors can significantly increase the coin's value. On the reverse side of the 2001 cent we see the classic Lincoln Memorial design, introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The Lincoln Memorial stands proudly in the center of the coin, representing one of the most famous monuments in Washington, D.C. If you look carefully under magnification, you can even see the tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside the memorial building, an incredible level of detail for such a small coin. Above the memorial are the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, while the denomination 1 cent appears along the bottom. This design remained in use until 2008, meaning the 2001 cent belongs to the final era of the Lincoln Memorial reverse before the major redesign of the Lincoln series in 2009. Although billions of 2001 pennies were produced, collectors know that not every coin is equal. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. Most coins that circulated in everyday commerce became scratched, worn, and damaged over time, which keeps their value close to 1 cent. However, coins that were preserved in near-perfect condition, especially those graded at extremely high levels by professional grading services, can become highly desirable collector pieces. Mint state coins that retain their original luster, sharp details, and clean surfaces can command much higher prices in the numismatic market. Another reason collectors search for the 2001 Liberty 1 cent is the possibility of minting errors and rare varieties. Throughout the history of the United States Mint, small mechanical variations during the minting process have created unusual coins that stand out from normal production. Examples include double die errors where the design appears doubled, off-center strikes where the coin was not properly aligned during minting, and other striking anomalies that make each error coin unique. When such rare varieties appear in the collector market, they can attract intense interest from numismatists and investors alike. In recent years, the coin collecting market has grown dramatically due to online marketplaces, collector forums, and global interest in rare coins. Collectors from around the world now search for specific dates, varieties, and high-grade coins to add to their collections. Because of this expanding demand, certain coins that were once considered ordinary have become valuable pieces of numismatic history. According to collector discussions and speculative market interest, the 2001 Liberty 1 cent has been highlighted with a remarkable potential collector value reaching an impressive figure of $779.375 in certain premium collectible conditions. This number represents the excitement that can surround rare high-grade examples or unique error varieties discovered by dedicated collectors. The possibility that a simple penny could be worth hundreds of dollars captures the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters everywhere. Many people begin searching through old coin jars, piggy banks, and inherited collections hoping to find one of these valuable pieces hiding among ordinary change. The thrill of discovery is one of the reasons coin collecting remains one of the most popular hobbies in the world. Each coin carries a story, and sometimes that story turns into a financial opportunity for those who recognize its significance. The 2001 Liberty 1 cent also represents an interesting period in the evolution of the penny itself. During the late 20th century and early 21st century, rising metal prices and production costs sparked debates about the future of the penny in American currency. Some economists argued that the coin cost more to produce than its face value, while collectors and historians defended its cultural and historical importance. Despite these debates, the Lincoln cent has survived and remains one of the most widely recognized symbols of American coinage. For collectors, preserving coins properly is essential to maintaining their value. Coins should be handled carefully by the edges to avoid fingerprints and stored in protective holders or albums designed for numismatic preservation. Exposure to moisture, chemicals, or improper cleaning can permanently damage a coin's surface and reduce its value dramatically. Experienced collectors know that original untouched coins are always more desirable than coins that have been cleaned or altered. Another fascinating aspect of the 2001 Liberty 1 cent is how it connects everyday people with American history. Every coin serves as a miniature time capsule, carrying the design, political symbols, and national values of the era in which it was produced. When you hold a 2001 penny in your hand, you are holding a piece of history from the early 21st century, a time when the United States was entering a new millennium while continuing traditions that began more than a century earlier with the introduction of the Lincoln cent. The collector market for Lincoln cents remains one of the strongest areas of numismatics because the series is accessible, historical, and filled with interesting varieties. From the legendary 1909 SVDB to modern high-grade issues, the Lincoln cent offers opportunities for both beginner collectors and experienced numismatists. The 2001 Liberty 1 cent fits into this larger story as part of the modern era of the series, reminding collectors that even relatively recent coins can become valuable depending on condition, rarity, and collector demand. As we continue exploring the fascinating world of rare coins here on Rare US Coins, remember that the next valuable coin could be hiding right in your pocket, your coin jar, or your old collection. Many of the most exciting discoveries in numismatics begin with simple curiosity and careful observation. By learning how to examine coins closely, understanding mint marks and varieties, and staying informed about the collector market, anyone can participate in the exciting search for hidden treasures. So the next time you see a 2001 Liberty 1 cent, do not dismiss it as just another penny. Take a closer look at its details, its condition, and its mint mark. That small copper coin might hold more history and potential value than you ever imagined. And who knows, one day you might discover a high-grade example or a rare mint error that collectors are willing to pay hundreds of dollars to own. Thank you for watching Rare US Coins. Today we are exploring a modern coin that most people have seen but very few truly understand, the Liberty 1 cent 2014 from the United States of America. At first glance it looks like just another penny that people receive in their change every day, a coin that many people ignore, throw in jars, or even leave behind at store counters. But the truth is far more exciting, because some of these coins have become highly collectible pieces in the world of numismatics, and under the right conditions a simple 1 cent coin can reach astonishing market values that surprise collectors all around the world. In today's video we will uncover the history behind the 2014 Liberty 1 cent, the story of its design, how it fits into more than a century of American coinage, and why collectors and investors keep searching through rolls of pennies hoping to discover a rare piece that could be worth far more than its tiny face value. We will also explore the current collector excitement surrounding certain high-grade examples that have been talked about in the coin market, with an estimated collectible market figure reaching an incredible $779,352 for extremely rare and perfect specimens that attract elite collectors. To understand the importance of the 2014 Liberty 1 cent, we must first travel back through history to the origins of the American penny itself. The 1 cent coin has been part of the United States economy since the earliest days of the nation. For generations the penny has carried powerful symbols of American identity, including the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, which first appeared on the cent in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of his birth. That design marked a historic moment because it was the first time a real person appeared on a regular circulating American coin. Since then the Lincoln cent has become one of the most recognized coins in the world. Over the decades the design evolved, from the original wheat ears reverse used until 1958, to the Lincoln Memorial reverse introduced in 1959, and later the special bicentennial designs released in 2009 to celebrate Lincoln's life and achievements. After those commemorative designs, the United States Mint introduced the modern shield reverse beginning in 2010, symbolizing the unity of the states under one federal government. The 2014 Liberty 1 cent belongs to this modern shield design era. On the front of the coin you will see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, a design originally created by the sculptor Victor David Brenner more than a century ago. His initials can still be found on the coin, a subtle reminder of the artist whose work became a permanent part of American history. Surrounding Lincoln's portrait are the inscriptions that define the identity of the coin. The word liberty appears proudly beside the president's image, while the motto "In God We Trust" arches above his head. The year 2014 appears clearly on the obverse, marking the moment this particular coin entered circulation. Although millions of these coins were produced, collectors know that within massive mintages there can always be rare variations, perfect mint state examples, and sometimes unusual errors that transform a simple coin into a collector's dream. Turning the coin over reveals the powerful Union shield design that symbolizes national strength and unity. The shield is composed of vertical stripes representing the original states joined together, while a horizontal bar at the top represents the federal government holding everything together. Above the shield appears the inscription E pluribus unum, which means out of many one, a phrase that perfectly captures the idea of the United States as a nation formed from many people and cultures. Beneath the shield the words 1 cent proudly declare the coin's denomination, reminding us that even the smallest piece of currency carries a story of national identity and economic history. When the 2014 Liberty 1 cent was produced, it was struck at major United States Mint facilities including Philadelphia and Denver. Each mint mark plays a role in the world of coin collecting because collectors often seek coins from different mints to complete their sets. Some collectors focus on the sharpness of the strike, the brilliance of the copper plating, and the preservation of every tiny detail on Lincoln's portrait and the shield design. Coins that remain in flawless condition without scratches, marks, or wear are known as high-grade mint state coins, and these are the pieces that can command the highest attention in the marketplace. The fascinating truth about modern pennies like the 2014 Liberty 1 cent is that although billions may have been produced, only a very tiny number survive in absolutely perfect condition. Professional coin grading services evaluate these coins on a scale that measures their preservation and quality. When a coin receives an exceptionally high grade, it becomes extremely desirable because collectors compete to own the finest known examples. In the rarest cases, a coin that looks ordinary to the untrained eye can become a headline-making collectible if it is preserved in perfect mint condition or if it contains a unique minting error that makes it different from every other coin produced that year. In the world of coin collecting, stories often emerge about collectors discovering incredible treasures in the most unexpected places. Some search through bank rolls of pennies, others inherit old jars of coins from family members, and occasionally someone finds a rare coin hiding in everyday change. The excitement comes from the possibility that one small discovery could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on rarity and demand. This is why the 2014 Liberty 1 cent continues to capture the curiosity of collectors who examine each coin carefully, looking for special characteristics such as perfect surfaces, strong details, unusual mint marks, or rare minting errors. The collector market is driven by rarity, demand, and condition. When collectors believe that a certain coin is difficult to find in top quality, its value can rise dramatically. In the discussion surrounding the 2014 Liberty 1 cent, some collectors have speculated about exceptional examples reaching astonishing collector valuations, reported in the market conversation around $779,352 for the most extraordinary specimens discussed among enthusiasts and investors. While such values represent the extreme end of the market and depend heavily on condition, grading, and rarity, they demonstrate how powerful the coin collecting hobby can be. A coin that originally represented just 1 cent of purchasing power can transform into a historical artifact worth a fortune to the right collector. Beyond its potential value, the 2014 Liberty 1 cent also represents a continuation of a tradition that has lasted for more than a century. Each penny connects the modern world to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected leaders in American history. Lincoln's image on the coin symbolizes perseverance, unity, and the ideals that shaped the United States during some of its most difficult moments. Holding a Lincoln cent is like holding a small piece of American heritage that has passed through millions of hands over time. Collectors around the world continue to build Lincoln cent collections by year and mint mark, carefully preserving coins in protective holders and studying tiny details under magnification. Some collectors specialize in modern coins like the 2014 issue, believing that future generations will appreciate pristine examples of today's circulating currency. Others focus on discovering rare varieties and errors that appear during the minting process. Either way, the hunt for rare pennies never truly ends, and every new coin roll opened could reveal an unexpected treasure. So the next time you receive a penny in your change, do not overlook it too quickly. Take a moment to examine the date, the mint mark, and the condition of the coin. That small copper-colored coin might be part of a story much larger than its face value suggests. Somewhere out there, collectors are searching for the finest examples, investors are studying market trends, and enthusiasts are sharing stories about the pennies that could change someone's life. Thank you for joining Rare US Coins. Today we are exploring an incredible story about the Liberty 1 cent 2021 coin, a modern coin that most people think is just another penny, but which in certain rare conditions and market situations can become a highly valuable collectible that excites coin hunters, collectors, and investors across the United States and around the world. Many people ignore pennies and toss them into jars or drawers, but experienced collectors know that some Lincoln cents hide fascinating history and surprising value, and the 2021 Liberty 1 cent is one of those coins that deserves a closer look because it represents more than just a piece of copper-plated zinc. It represents over a century of American coin history and the continuing legacy of one of the most famous designs ever created by the United States Mint. The story of the Liberty 1 cent begins long before 2021. In fact, the design traces its roots back to 1909 when the United States Mint introduced the Lincoln cent to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical person rather than a symbolic liberty figure. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, whose portrait of Lincoln quickly became one of the most recognizable images in American numismatic history. Over the decades, the reverse of the coin changed several times, first showing wheat ears from 1909 until 1958, then the Lincoln Memorial from 1959 until 2008, and later the Union Shield design beginning in 2010. By the time the 2021 Liberty 1 cent was produced, this design had already become a powerful symbol of American heritage, leadership, and unity. The 2021 Liberty 1 cent features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, facing to the right with the word Liberty appearing beside him and the date 2021 clearly stamped below. The motto "In God We Trust" appears above his head, reflecting the historical tradition found on U.S. coins. The reverse side of the coin displays the modern Union Shield design, symbolizing the strength and unity of the United States. The shield represents the federal government protecting the Union of the States, and the 13 vertical stripes represent the original 13 colonies that formed the nation. This powerful design connects the coin to American history while reminding collectors that even modern coins can carry deep historical meaning. The United States Mint produced millions of 2021 Liberty 1 cent coins at several mint facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver. At first glance, this might make the coin seem very common, and in ordinary circulated condition it is usually worth only 1 cent. However, coin collectors know that value in the numismatic market depends on several important factors, including mint condition, rarity of certain mint errors, strike quality, and collector demand. When a coin survives in extremely high mint state condition or contains a rare minting error, it can become dramatically more valuable than its face value. This is exactly what has happened with some rare examples of the 2021 Liberty 1 cent. In the modern rare coin market, there are certain coins that suddenly gain attention due to unusual minting errors, limited high-grade populations, or special collector demand. The 2021 Liberty 1 cent has attracted interest because of several error varieties that collectors have discovered. These can include off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, clipped planchets, or other unusual minting mistakes. When a coin like this is discovered in near-perfect condition, it becomes extremely desirable among collectors who specialize in modern U.S. coin varieties. Another factor that increases the value of coins like the 2021 Liberty 1 cent is professional grading. When a coin is examined and graded by major grading services, it receives a numerical grade that describes its condition. Coins graded at the very highest levels such as MS-67, MS-68, or even higher are extremely rare because most coins experience tiny imperfections during minting, transportation, or circulation. A coin that survives in near-perfect condition is therefore considered a premium collectible. In rare cases, top-graded modern coins have sold for astonishing amounts at auction simply because so few examples exist in that level of preservation. Because of these factors, the market value of a rare high-grade 2021 Liberty 1 cent can be dramatically higher than most people expect. Some collectors and market analysts have discussed rare examples reaching astonishing estimated market values as high as $779,376 when extreme rarity, perfect condition, and strong collector demand combine in the right auction environment. While such values represent extraordinary cases rather than typical prices, they demonstrate how even a modern penny can transform into a remarkable treasure within the numismatic market. The modern coin collecting community has grown rapidly over the past decade thanks to online auctions, collector forums, and educational channels like Rare U.S. Coins. Enthusiasts from around the world now search through bank rolls, pocket change, and coin jars hoping to discover hidden treasures. Stories of valuable pennies being found in everyday circulation continue to inspire new collectors to join the hobby and learn more about the fascinating world of U.S. coins. If you happen to come across a 2021 Liberty 1 cent, it is worth taking a careful look before spending it. Examine the coin for unusual details such as doubled letters, off-center images, cracks in the design, or unusual shapes in the metal. Also check the overall condition of the coin. A coin with sharp details, bright surfaces, and minimal marks could potentially be worth more to collectors. Storing coins safely in protective holders and avoiding scratches or fingerprints can help preserve their value over time. The story of the 2021 Liberty 1 cent reminds us that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. A small coin that most people overlook can carry a powerful connection to American history and sometimes even hold incredible financial value. From the legacy of Abraham Lincoln to the symbolism of the Union Shield, this coin represents more than currency. It represents tradition, craftsmanship, and the thrill of discovery that keeps collectors searching through their change every day. Here on Rare U.S. Coins, our mission is to help collectors discover the hidden value inside everyday coins and to share the incredible stories behind them. The 2021 Liberty 1 cent proves that even modern coins can become exciting treasures in the right circumstances. Whether you are a beginner collector or a lifelong numismatics enthusiast, always remember that the next valuable coin might already be in your pocket waiting to be discovered. Thank you for watching Rare U.S. Coins.